Hello there, healers, and welcome to Start Massage Biz, your online resource for creating a massage or bodywork business of your dreams. My name is Jane Rose. I'm a massage therapist and Reiki master, and the founder and CEO of Start Massage Biz. Today, I want to talk to you about 7 ways you could change your attitude when you're having a bad day. Hey, we all have bad days, right? Let me tell you a little story. I'm here on my beautiful property in Grass Valley, California, and it's right after the New Year's, and we recently had a blizzard the day after Christmas, which brought about 2.5 feet of snow. You can still see some snow on the ground here, and that took down a whole bunch of trees, which took down a whole bunch of power lines, and we lost both power and internet for almost 2 full weeks. So talk about having a bad day when you run an online business. It was really hard to be able to work. I was literally driving 40 minutes out of town to work out of my car in a place where I could get cell phone reception well enough to tether my laptop because it wasn't working in my own home anymore. So yeah, it was really difficult. I had to do laundry at the laundromat instead of my own home, all those sort of things. But also, like, especially right after the blizzard, there were these days where it was super snowy, super foggy, you got no sunshine, and this like sadness and depression kind of like crept in a little bit. And it really wasn't until the sun started shining again that I started feeling better regularly. So I absolutely know what it's like to have those bad days. I just went through a session like this where I was constantly sort of battling that bad attitude or that depression or whatever it is that happens to us that puts us in a bad mood. And it's really important as healers to be able to have a positive, uplifting mood, because this is really powerful for our clients. They feel this in us. It's something that may attract clients to us, and it's also something that you might transfer some of your energy, your negative emotions onto your clients as well. So it's really important as healers, for us as massage therapists, as Reiki masters, whatever sort of wellness modality that you do, that we stay in a positive, uplifting mood for our clients. Let's dive into the 7 ways that I suggest that you can keep yourself in a positive mood. Number 1, stay away from social media. I'll tell you another little story. Once I was working with a client who I saw every single week. I put her down on the table, and then I did my regular routine where I went to wash my hands beforehand, but I also ended up getting on social media right beforehand. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I see that someone that I had dated right before I met and started dating my husband passed away suddenly, unexpectedly, with no explanation of what had happened. And of course, I was so heartbroken because I still very much cared for this person, and I wanted to know what had happened to him. And since I already had my client on the table, I went ahead and tried to power through that massage as if nothing happened. And of course, I couldn't bury my feelings. I ended up crying, but I still tried to power through it. And guess what happened? That client left and went to another massage therapist, and rightfully so. I should have never have done that. I learned a huge, big lesson to take care of myself first, especially if I'm having those sort of emotions. But I learned another valuable lesson, which was don't check for social media, because unfortunately you may hear devastating news like that, especially right now. I'm also guilty of doom scrolling, right? Like, if you've seen the quality of the doom lately, it's really good. But that could put us in a really negative mood for our clients. So number 1, stay away from social media. Number 2 is to exercise regularly. So when you exercise regularly, it can do a number of things. 1, it could give you strength, to give to push a lot when you're giving a massage. It can give your muscles endurance as well, so that you can have long hours during the day. And it also helps you release chemicals like dopamine, and that allow you to get those sort of feel-good feelings that help keep you in a positive mood. So number 2 is have a regular exercise program. You don't have to do it 5 times a week, but if you do a walk 3 times a week on a regular basis, you will be so surprised on how much better your mood is. Number 3 is to schedule daily downtime. So if you are like me and you like to cram as many massage clients in a day as possible, it's also really important that you schedule a little time for yourself each day. Think about if you were on a regular job. You have to have 2 15-minute breaks. Okay, they don't have to pay for your lunch, but they got to pay for those 15 minutes. You need to give yourself those same 15 minutes. So for me, what I would do is I always gave myself 15-minute break right after lunch. That was kind of the time that I would walk around the block and get some fresh air and just help myself feel better. And then the other time I really like to schedule this is right before I would pick up my daughter from school. And this is really because, like, if I go straight from working to picking her up and then taking care of her afterwards, it's like there's no break there. I just feel like I'm constantly working on this treadmill, and I get really exhausted when I'm with her, and it starts to put me in a bad mood when I'm with her. We don't want that for a little girl either, do we? So I find it really important now. I try to schedule a little break in between, where same thing. I walk around, I meditate maybe, I look at the things that I need to do for that day still that's on my to-do list or whatever it is, but I give myself some time outside of work, some personal time before going to pick her up. I hope that you look at your schedule and try to figure out, okay, what times can I put in 2 15-minute breaks for myself, for my own personal enjoyment, for my own personal sanity, so that I can fill my own cup and have energy and have that positive attitude again. So number 3 is to schedule some downtime for yourself. Number 4 is to get outside. This is why I wanted to bring you today to my beautiful property here in Grass Valley, to give you a sense of, yes, it is possible for you to get out of the office. I used to like to walk around the city block where I lived in San Francisco. It took me exactly 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes was golden for refilling my cup and giving me energy. It was just something about getting outside and getting in the fresh air. Number 5 is to get moving. So this is a little different than number 2, which is regular exercise. This is more like in the moment. If you're feeling really crappy, you can use exercise to help lift up your emotions. So for instance, again, walking around the block for 5 minutes, maybe doing something in your office like doing 10 jumping jacks or doing 5 squats or whatever it is, doing some sit-ups, whatever it is that you could use as a really quick release of endorphins and dopamine to help lift your attitude. It's something you could do really quickly in between clients. So that's number 5, which is, sorry, that's my cat. That's number 5. Come here, buddy. It's causing lots of problems right now. That's number 5, which is to get moving. Number 6 is to use uplifting aromatherapy. So I love using aromatherapy in my practice. I usually have several different bottles there. So we tend to use a lot of calming things when we do massage and body work, but it's also nice to use uplifting stuff as well. So one of the things that I like to use is lavender, lemon, and peppermint on their own can all be more uplifting or calming things, and together you can make a blend that a lot of people like to call LLP, again, lavender, lemon, and peppermint, and that combination together is good for a lot of things like allergies, but it also kind of has like this calming and yet uplifting um, quality to it. So lavender, lemon, and peppermint is one of my favorite. Another one of my favorites is orange. Orange is a citrus flavor that's both sort of calming and uplifting at the same time. Very energizing. Number 7 is to plan for life to happen. As a human being, we are all subject to births, deaths, sicknesses, plagues, like we have right now with the coronavirus, whatever it is. You want to think ahead of time, like what constitutes as an emergency where I need to be gone from work. I don't know about you, but especially as an entrepreneur, I get a lot of guilt around taking time off when there's literally nothing that I can do about it. Again, we just had this crazy emergency where we didn't have any power, any internet. I went way out of my way to work, but I also took a little time for myself to do the extra things that needed to be done, like going to a laundry mat when I don't have a washer dryer at home anymore, that kind of thing. We were snowed in for like 2 days, and that's only because we had a snowblower. But I had some other friends who live here. One is a nurse. They had no snowblower, no one plowed their road. They were literally trapped inside of their house for 4 days. And she was talking on the internet about it, and she, as a nurse, knowing that people needed her, she felt so guilty about it, right? And I know you guys know what I'm talking about when you have to take off time for being sick, or because your child's sick, or because whatever else happens. And she finally had to like kind of let go of that. And I totally experienced that as an entrepreneur a lot. But I think it's really helpful if you could decide, okay, if someone is dying, giving birth, someone is sick, whatever it is, I should feel guilt-free about taking however many days off, right? I think a lot of us feel that right now with the coronavirus as well. 10 days to quarantine, like that's so hard. So a lot of us are dealing with that feeling of I'm taking too much time off, I'm not making enough money, all these kind of things. And it could be really hard and really daunting, but know that we are just in a very difficult moment in time, and that this will pass, and that soon things will get better. I think so. That's it. Listen to that bird. That's so nice. That's it. These are my 7 ways that you can have a better attitude when you're having a bad day. And I hope that you guys all realize something that I have realized a long time ago, is that joy is a choice. Happiness is a choice that we can all choose. And I'm not saying that there are real emotions out there that can be really bad. For instance, grief. A lot of us are going through grief right now. And that can be a very, very powerful emotion. And I do suggest that when you have emotions like that, that you allow them to pass through you, but also realize that it is your choice to linger in them. So I really hope that these 7 tips can give you some inspiration and tools to help you feel better when you're having a bad day. Again, my name is Jaden Rose. I am a massage therapist and a Reiki master, and the CEO and founder of Start Massage Biz. And I hope that you have a very positive, wonderful, productive, and prosperous day.